devastating day we had to witness the downfall of Titan Cameraman. We don't know if he is dead or not, but either way, don't forget to pay your respects to the Titan who has been saving everyone ever since episode 18. He has been the most beloved, the most overpowered, and one of the goofiest characters ever in the series, with his thumbs up every time he wins. But at the end of this episode today, we saw him doing a thumbs down for the first time. But we have to stay strong and don't budge because nothing is over yet. Even though this was the craziest and the best episode so far in the whole series, it was just the beginning because this wasn't even the real fight, and we probably have a whole season worth of fighting to do with the G-Man toilet and scientist toilet duo. This episode was filled with action, and as I guessed in my previous videos, the theory about G-Man planning an actual trap was real. We don't even know where his real body is and where the scientist toilet and his army went. The decoy that was used in this episode was so convincing, but before we get into everything that happened in this episode and where the G-Man duo could be, episode 69 is on the horizon, and we all know that it's going to be the goofiest episode ever because it'll be right after the boss fight arc is over, and it's the 69th episode. Come on. So let's try to hit 690,000 subscribers before episode 69 releases, and also at the same time, let's try to get this video to 69,000 likes to pay respects to our brother, Titan Cameraman. Anyways, here we go. Episode 65 starts with us hearing some police siren noises and a cameraman holding his hands up for his life, while there is a cameraman who was no scope head shotted in the back. We can also see a Strider toilet looking directly at the POV cameraman, but it doesn't last long until the cameraman next to us dies as well, because not even a second later he gets thrown a spear in his chest as well. This results in us, the POV cameraman, turning to the right side, and we get to see an upgraded Skibidi police. It's been a while since we've seen any Skibidi police, but this is quite the upgrade because from what we can see, they can fly and they have 4 spear cannons, which is insane if you ask me. We can also see that the 2 spears on the top were used, so it seems like they don't regenerate instantly, and someone might have to reload them, which limits his powers a lot, and that might be why the police toilet didn't shot the POV cameraman instantly. But weirdly, he left the scene without bothering. I see 2 potential theories here, the boring one being that he was ordered by the scientist toilet to go back. But why would that be the case when they want to look strong, since more toilets are joining the army here instead of leaving at this exact second? The second theory is a lot better, and it does make sense when you think about it. What if the secret agent has mind-controlling powers? What if he mind-controlled the police toilet to preserve the footage from the POV cameraman because every other regular cameraman was dead? This really could be true, and I don't know if you saw him yourself, but he was in this episode. He was hiding quite well, and I saw it thanks to Cool Flame Kid, who posted this on my Discord's theory section, but we'll get to the secret agent later in the video. I'm sure that he'll also appear in the next season, and we really should prepare ourselves for an incredible 3 episodes because season 22 is going to be crazy. Before we get into what happened with the scientist toilet, remember the 2 cameraman in episode 60 that was relaying information through a large TV man? These 3 normal cameramen were probably doing the same thing for the Titans to find the location of this place and see what's going on. And the toilets might have waited until now to kill them for the trap. Anyways, after the police toilet leaves, we see a scene where a lot of toilets are gathering around the airport, including the upgraded scientist toilet. The grin on his face is immeasurably cold. We don't even need to watch the full episode to know that they have a plan. Him and what we saw from G-Man toilet in episode 64. It was clear that they were planning something, and I mentioned this in my last 4 videos. I somehow guessed that a trap would be used and the toilets would win this battle at the end. It was a lot more devastating and heartbreaking than I thought. But we'll get to what's going to happen to the Gigachad called Titan Cameraman later in the video. Right after he shows up, the camera pans to the right, and we also see G-Man toilet coming towards the scientist toilet as well. But we all know who this G-Man turned out to be. He also weirdly gives us a side eye while flying, but I don't know if that was because he noticed the POV toilet or it was just random. As soon as we saw that he didn't get any upgrades, I was confused because why would he not get any upgrades at this point? It's so clear that it'd be stupid not to, and we now have another question we have to ask. How long have we been watching the imposter G-Man toilet instead of the real one? This changes everything. What if the real G-Man toilet has been getting repaired and upgraded ever since episode 47 because, as we all know, he started losing battles quite a lot and he kept losing and losing? What if it was because another toilet was controlling a body that looked like G-Man's body? This question might never get answered, but you can be so goddamn sure that the real G-Man toilet will come back with huge upgrades. My guess is that he either has been getting upgrades and being repaired ever since episode 47 or 57, and he'll most likely come back in episode 67 instead of the next episode. If he has been getting upgrades for that long, his return will be more devastating for the Alliance compared to what happened in this episode. But that only means one thing. As you guys know, there has been someone missing for a long time now, getting upgrades and slowly healing. I'm of course talking about the Titan TV Man. I think with the return of the original upgraded G-Man toilet, upgraded Titan TV Man will come and save the Alliance at the last second at the end of episode 67, leaving the episode in a cliffhanger just like what happened today, and we'll get to witness a fight between G-Man Toilet and Scientist Toilet versus the upgraded Titan TV Man in episode 68. That's at least my theory, and I'll talk about it more in one of my upcoming videos. Right after the imposter G-Man toilet comes, he basically acts just like the original G-Man, which is being mad and waffling about random stuff. This was also the second leaked image we got yesterday. In this scene, there is also something strange. At least that's what I thought at first. If you look at the bottom right, you can see a green glow inside the hangar. I thought this might have been the secret agent, but when I went and checked the screenshots of the map, there was the same green glow, which means that it already was there on the map, and as I mentioned earlier, we already know where he was in this episode, which I'll get to later in the video. Seconds after G-Man Toilet comes to the scene, the camera pans to the right side again, and we can kinda see the city that was in episode 64. At least that's what I think those skyscrapers are, and we see the Titans arriving at the scene with all their might. I'd actually smash without no hesitation. Smash the like and subscribe button, that is. Ha ha ha. You thought I meant something else, did you? Anyways, right after the Titans arrive, the camera pans back to the toilets and witnesses the craziest thing ever. We start seeing the toilets leaving the airport, leaving G-Man Toilet alone. Imposter G-Man Toilet looks like he doesn't know anything about this plan, and he looks at Scientist Toilet while saying something, but it's no use because Scientist Toilet waves him saying sayonara, and we see the G-Man Toilet doing the goofy, shocked Pikachu face. This makes him very mad, and we see him charging his lasers, including his eye lasers. This should have been the first red flag since his eyes still look like they are lifeless, just like at the end of episode 47, but instead of chickening out even though he is an imposter, he starts fighting with his full might, which I can actually respect, but we all knew at this point that it was done for him, but no one was waiting for what's about to come. Right after he uses his lasers, Titan Cameraman simply opens up his new shield, which easily deflects the lasers, and Titan Speakerman jumps on him without hesitation, shooting his blasters on his head. Right after that, Titan Cameraman charges up his hand cannon and shoots a huge bullet. And they keep ganging up on G-Man. Somehow he doesn't really get affected by Titan Speakerman's speakers, but we'll learn why later in the episode. Right after blowing off Titan Speakerman, Imposter G-Man rams onto Titan Cameraman, which results in us seeing the leaked image that Creekcraft showed on his stream 2 days ago, which people thought was fake, and even though the scene is the same, we can see that it's a little different because G-Man Toilet still has his armor and lasers at this point. While Titan Cameraman is holding off Imposter G-Man Toilet, Titan Speakerman jumps on his back to try and flush him, but for some reason it doesn't work. And we should have known at this point that something was wrong because in episode 22, they tried to flush him and it worked a little at least. But this time, he didn't even budge. As soon as Titan Speakerman tried to flush him, G-Man Toilet headbutts Titan Cameraman so hard that it causes a small explosion, and while this is going on, we can see Titan Speakerman trying to flush him. But why does him trying to flush look so goofy? I would want the same treatment from TV Woman honestly, but forget I mentioned that. This gets G-Man Toilet even madder, and he shoots his lasers directly at Titan Speakerman while his guards are down. And his anger is the reason he loses this battle because the second he turns back and shoots his lasers at Titan Speakerman without any protection on the back. Titan Cameraman pulls his hammer up and smashes his with all his might. He keeps smashing him until Imposter G-Man Toilet can't use his lasers and Titan Cameraman starts punching him with his hand cannon as hard as he can. At this point, we can clearly see the damage done on Imposter's G-Man Toilet's face, but he doesn't back down and starts shooting his lasers once again, but Titan Cameraman opens up his shield in time to protect himself. But as we already know, this is not a fair battle, and Titan Speakerman pulls out the daggers he used to stab Cinema Man in episode 47 and stabs Imposter G-Man Toilet in the eyes. This made me think of the Dark Speakerman we saw in episode 63 because he was using 2 daggers as well. But that's besides the point. The second Titan Speakerman stabs the eyes. We start seeing weird electricity coming out of G-Man Toilet's eyes, and that's weird because we know that normally blood would come out instead of electricity. But we see the reason seconds later after Titan Cameraman uses his core to burn down Imposter G-Man Toilet. This takes a couple seconds, but thanks to his thick flames, Imposter G-Man Toilet's face gets burned. But we are left with a shocking scene because Titan Cameraman sees that there is someone else inside of G-Man Toilet's skin, and he pulls a giant face controlling the body of G-Man Toilet with some incredible tech, and if you look at his ear, it's closed off, and that was the reason why Titan Speakerman's sound attacks didn't work. This results in us seeing one of the most devious plans ever, and we see the Titans looking at the sky knowing that they are done for, because there are so many nukes and explosives coming down to them. Titan Speakerman quickly leaves the scene, but Titan Cameraman is in a position which his only chance is to try and use his shield. But we all know how that goes. The second the bombs hit the POV, Cameraman starts glitching from the aftershock and falls down from the roof. We see that the Titan Speakerman took some damage as well, but he looks fine, and the camera slowly pans to the right, results in us seeing the secret agent in the red car, watching while hiding, and think about it. He was there the whole time, and he doesn't look affected at all by the explosion, even though it was quite the big explosion. If he wasn't affected by this at all, can you imagine his powers? He was able to withstand something that Titan Cameraman and Titan Speakerman couldn't withstand at all. I really don't know what he is planning, but I think he'll take some action in the upcoming episodes because he seems really interested in the upcoming fight. After this scene, we get to the final scene of the episode, which probably left all of us with the same reaction Imposter G-Man had when the scientist's toilet left him alone on the battlefield. We see Titan Cameraman defeated, and it's not even a small defeat. He lost his whole arm again. His main camera is completely cracked. His whole body is burning, and instead of giving a thumbs up, we get a thumbs down while he is looking downwards for the first time in the series. He probably won't die from this, but this heartbreaking moment will never be forgotten, and the whole alliance will come back to support the cause and win against the Skibidi toilets in the next season. I'll make another video tomorrow about my theories on what's going to happen and going more in depth, so make sure to subscribe with notifications on. Elite Cameraman out. Thank you for your service, Titan Cameraman.